World We Live In podcast. I'm your host, Eric Patterson. Alongside me is my sister, Erin. Join us as we explore the amazing, mysterious aspects of our planet's cultures, history, and future trends. What's going on?
Not much. I literally, all I have in my new apartment right now are 2 bar stools and a bed.
There you go.
And a lot of shit I have to put together. So,
Welcome to the club.
yeah. So that's how it's going.
Yeah, that's where I still am, even though I moved in to a new place a month ago. So,
Well, no one here is at all surprised.
yeah. I had a nickname in college. There was a guy who called me Hurricane.
Oh my god.
Because wherever I would go, there would just be something left, no matter where I was.
Well, I am afraid that my boyfriend is the same.
Yeah, I think it's a guy thing. I think it is. I mean, I obviously know guys that are organized, but I also know a lot of guys that it's just we leave shit.
I almost don't want to trust an organized man.
Yeah, they're probably like a psychopath.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For real, like.
Or like a narcissist. They're just super organized.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, it'd be awesome, but also, I'm sure there's other side effects with that.
Yeah, or they're gay.
They're gay.
Cause like
Mm-hmm.
not comparing gay guys to women, but girls in like middle school and high school, they're the ones that are super organized. They have the planners. They got they got the color coded binders. They got the colored pins. They got all that stuff. And then I was just throwing shit in my locker. So
I will say I had a planner, but I never had colored shit or anything. Like, and I think that's pretty accurate of how organized I am now.
yeah.
Like, I don't need to visually see it like that. I just have to check it off, delete it,
Yeah.
and move on. But
Cause there's you can go overboard.
you can, and like I'm definitely a very clean person. Very clean person.
Yeah.
But like by Friday, shit is a disaster in my life.
Gotta reset. Yeah.
For sure. Like I think I'm a good down the middle. I love to clean though.
I don't love to clean. What do I like as far as organization?
I literally don't think anything.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I like clean clothes.
You do laundry a lot.
I do. I stay on top of laundry because the one thing I hate is just like a nasty pair. And I think what it stems from is how disgusting some of my some of my sports gear was when I was younger.
Right.
And just how disgusting that got. But it was always clean because our parents did a good job. So I think that's where that comes from.
I agree. I feel like having like clean clothes and like not letting it get too overwhelming was like a big deal.
Yeah.
For us as kids. So
yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I actually hate doing laundry. I hate it. But I'm the same way. I feel like I'm doing it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to talk about laundry all day, but
I know you want us to.
Yes, I know everybody would love that, but we aren't. So I do want to touch on so obviously there are these massive fires in Hawaii.
Oh yeah.
The thing with these, and obviously I'm not downplaying this tragedy at all, but it's weird to me, and obviously I cannot even imagine losing your house and everything you own through a fire. So my thoughts go out to everybody that had that happen to them. But the weird thing to me with these recent fires, like the ones in California, Northern California, and these Hawaii ones, is I do not understand how the trees are not completely destroyed, and how the wooden electric poles do not get burned down.
Yeah.
I have a feeling there's a logical explanation, but I've never heard it.
I agree.
And adding on to that, how is it that the cars that are made out of metal are completely destroyed and obliterated? Looks like they blew up. Well, they probably did blow up. But again, the wood everywhere is not destroyed. Like, how do the cars catch fire before the wood does? I don't understand. Right. I don't understand this.
I don't either.
I don't either. I mean, here's what the conspiracy theorists would say. It's and well, I'm sure they would say multiple things, but one of the things, and this is very fringe. It's not something I believe, but it's a fringe theory, is that these fires were made by some sort of directed energy weapon.
Right.
What that entails, I don't quite know. I haven't done enough research, but it's some sort of weapon that's able to direct its energy to destroy certain things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that whoever, government, whatever, black projects are testing it out on populations.
Yep. Have you seen people saying that?
There are people who believe that, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely don't. I think fires are fires. But I don't understand the wood not catch. That's my thing. I don't understand how the wood doesn't catch fire.
Yeah.
Because the houses are made of wood, they burn down.
Right.
But I don't understand how the other wood doesn't catch fire. I don't know. Maybe there's some sort of flame retardant on it. I don't know. Maybe it's protected so that it doesn't burn down, but I don't know.
But it's like, you think they'd be making the houses out of that too?
Well, yeah, you hear of a fire, and I mean, you see forest fires, and the whole forest is gone.
Yeah.
Right? Everything's gone. Like the trees, they're not all the way burned down, but they've broken and they're burning out from the inside, and it's just a weird. I don't understand it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my conspiracy thought for the day.
Yeah, it is definitely something that makes no sense to
and I saw a clip of different like still photos and videos, and the electric poles and the what did I say? The electric poles and the
oh yeah.
The electric poles and the trees. Sorry, the trees are still up.
Yep. Literally, this one picture I'm looking at it looks like apartments or something and all the cars are burned.
Yeah.
But there's like palm trees lining the street and they're fine.
Yeah, I know.
What?
I don't get it.
Wow. Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this one too. It's like a street on fire, and
apparently, I haven't looked at it, but apparently there are pictures of people that have seen beams coming from like the sky. Apparently there are pictures of people that claim to have seen these directed energy weapon.
Wow.
Yeah. So who knows? It's a weird. Again, I think it's fires. I just don't understand the wood part.
Yep. This is funny. I've been looking to off topic but on topic. Whenever I go to these websites.
Yeah.
I'm currently looking for a sofa, and all the ads are like the shit I've been looking at.
Oh, I know.
I'm like, get out of here.
Yeah, Every site, once you search something, every site is just the same ads.
Mhm. Yeah, Eric, there are pictures like on here of like shit coming like from the sky.
Really?
Yeah, like it looks like a stripe, like it's just like a big line of light.
What is it? Is it a certain color?
It's like a pinkish orange.
Wow. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. It's a weird one. I remember they were talking about it when those Northern California fires happened a couple years ago,
Yeah.
I think.
I remember that. I was on because that was super strange. Like they didn't even have photos.
Yeah.
Like the same situation, sort of like it's a photo of like a really concentrated fire,
Yeah.
and then shit burned down, but they don't have photos of like the fire like encompassing a forest. Like I remember when I was
Okay.
in like middle school, I don't know, there were some fires like in California, and they would have like they had photos, and it was like on the news, and it was like photos of the fires, and like the
Yeah.
forests were on fire, and like the like airplanes were dumping shit on them, like live stream stuff. And it's like you did not see that at all about like Canada and up there. Like you
No.
just saw like the destruction of it. You didn't see what was happening, and
Yeah.
it is really strange.
It's
Like, why-
yeah. I have a lot of questions.
Uh-huh.
I have a lot of questions. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's a good conspiracy theory. I like how we're starting off.
Yeah. Yeah, we there might be a rebranding being done soon because I feel like we veer more and more into conspiracies. So
I know. I mean,
But-
hey,
yeah, I mean, as I say that though, today we're not really doing conspiracies. So,
No.
but there's an endless amount to talk about when it's conspiracies. That's for sure.
yeah. Today, what we are talking about is shapeshifters / reptilians. I just love it. I would love to see one, but I haven't. So
Well, yeah, there were those couple videos of people freaking out on airplanes. The one of that woman,
mhm.
and then there was a dude as well, I think.
Did you see the video explaining like the lady on the plane was talking about a flight attendant?
She was freaking out about a flight attendant.
Yeah, it wasn't like a passenger, but it was like one of the flight attendants.
Well, flight attendants
insane.
suck anyway. So, and it's not them; it's the environment they work in. But
Yeah.
flight attendants are the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, no offense to flight attendants. Get your chatter, but yeah, the hospitality on airplanes is so bad.
It's in the
It's
negative.
so
for
bad.
sure.
It's so bad. They're just so upset all the time.
Yeah. There was a video of an American Airlines pilot, and it was him like he went on literally like a 5-minute like monologue about how people need to be nicer to each other.
He's right. He's not wrong.
He was like, I will not tolerate this on my aircraft.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get you from point A to point B, and you guys are going to be nice while we're doing it. And I was like, the person was like, who the fuck is this man?
yeah.
Telling me to be nice to people. It was just, like, he's had it. He's had enough.
Yeah, he's done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
Anyway.
funny. That's funny. Yeah, so, well, why don't you go first?
Okay.
Yeah. We'll go from there.
Yeah, so this, it's about, this guy's writing about his, a story that he heard that had been passed down to him from his great grandmother. But so he's saying that he thinks shapeshifters exist because of this story, but he says like his great grandmother told his grandmother that when she was younger, there would always be loud noises coming from downstairs. And she went downstairs one time and saw a woman dancing around who was half horse, half human.
What half? Do they say?
It does not say.
Oh, damn.
I know. But she said that she had ribbons and bells on her hooves. And his great grandma told her dad, and he shot his gun, like, not at it, but just to scare it. And it just, like, vanished into thin air. And he's saying that his mom has relayed this story to him. So then they went back upstairs, and her sister was sitting with her head down. And they, like, asked if she was okay. She, like, yeah. She turns around. They walk out of the room. So the great grandma and her dad. And they go back downstairs. And downstairs, they see her sister downstairs. And they're like, how did you get downstairs so fast? And she was just acting like she didn't really, the sister who just apparently just appeared downstairs from upstairs was like not really like her, like she wasn't herself. It was kind of like she was in someone else's body or something.
Yeah.
But the person just saying she believes in them because this was a story that had been passed down in their family. But I mean, I love the ribbons and bells on the hooves personally.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. I kind of want that to be like the bottom half horse.
Me too. I mean, that's kind of what I was picturing. But
yeah, like it's like a horse dancing would be like that. Like that'd be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This other writer is saying that they were at their house and they were just like sitting by the window. They were about 12 years old. They looked out the window because the moon was like really bright, so they thought they could see the yard clearly, and they saw what looked to be a coyote or like some dog that like got out into their yard.
Yep.
With like really big ears and a tail and shit, it says. And after a few minutes, it looked directly at him, grins, and then right there changes shape.
Oh, damn.
Said, I swear this thing went from I'm a coyote to I'm the biggest mountain lion you've ever seen. In the time it would take me to have a sip of my morning coffee.
Wow.
I tied my curtains shut and grabbed a knife, laid there waiting to see if it was going to break in and kill me.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that makes you think it's definitely metaphysical because that's, I mean, there's not really anything explaining that in the physical world.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dude, I would literally like shit my pants if I saw an animal change into a different animal like that and looking right at me.
Yeah, seriously. Well, it makes you think like, because you know, like a lot of the all of the Egyptian, you know, gods, they were like some sort of human animal hybrid.
Right.
So it makes you think like, is there something to like an ancient civilization, like predating Egypt, having some sort of ability to, you know, to whatever, possibly shapeshift, but possibly like create some sort of hybrid human animals, because they're trying to do that currently. Like there are scientists that are trying to. I mean, they've grown animal, they've grown human organs. I don't know about organs, but they've grown human tissue in animals.
Interesting.
Like, that's been done. Like, they've grown ears. I think they've grown ears on, like, a rat or something, or... Yeah, so, like...
Like, no. Stop.
Like, they're not making, like, you know, they're not making human horse hybrids in a lab, but they're on that very edge of like, that doesn't seem right, so maybe don't do that.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's a weird one.
All right, I got another one.
Yep.
Which has a similarity to the last one, I think. But okay, so it's a truck driver, and he was at a Pilot truck stop on the east side of Houston, Texas, and he was with his brother. So just his brother was riding along, but they were at the McDonald's at the Pilot, and they were sitting down, and there was a man sitting at the booth across from them, just one guy. He was eating like his burger really slowly. He was in a black suit, a white shirt, and sunglasses. And there was a fly that was like buzzing around his like booth, and so this truck driver says he saw a long, thin tongue shoot out and snag the fly right out of thin air into his mouth. The guy did not take one more bite of his burger, but he started chewing faster than this guy's ever seen. And he had a huge grin and smile on his face. He got up and left right after that. He also threw his fries away without eating any, and the drink like sounded heavy when it fell into the trash. So
he's a carnivore.
Yeah, he was really satisfied.
He's on the carnivore diet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was like, I swear this dude just like had a really like a lizard-like tongue, and he was wearing sunglasses, which, you know, the lizard people have the slits.
Yeah, they got to cover their eyes. Yeah.
So
damn.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I'm thinking of all the people I know that never take their sunglasses off.
Yeah, they walk inside, so their sunglasses on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
But
that's a great
that's
story.
a big one. That's like at a truck stop too. I love it.
Yeah, it's like that guy's just like drifting from place to place. You know the funny thing about those stories is like if that lizard person is actually real, they are just like, our reality is just like a playground.
Right.
Like, they're just chilling.
Yeah.
They know nothing is gonna happen to them. And so they're just like, no normal person would drift from like truck stop to truck stop.
Yeah.
But I'm like, imagine if I were just on some planet where I knew nothing, nothing could faze me.
Right.
And even if it did, like, I could just like, take my sunglasses off and like blink, and people would freak out. Like, I could get away with anything.
Yeah, that's what they're doing here.
They're just roaming, doing whatever they want.
Yeah.
I just think that'd be kind of fun, honestly.
I know. I feel like they're living the life.
Yeah, they're just chilling.
Yeah.
Also, all the things that truckers see, but they don't like talk about, has to be just.
I think that was one of our best episodes.
It was 100%.
Like, it's really eerie out there, and
yep.
They got some stories. So
especially at night, it's something about the night. The energy changes at night. Definitely does.
Yep. What do you got?
Cool. Okay. Well, this first one I got, it says, I encountered something I can't explain while on a night hike at my local park. Mm-hmm. So again, do not recommend hiking at night. So there's that. But if you do, please write in and tell us about what you experienced.
Yeah.
So it says, let's see. So this guy says he wrote this story right when he got back from this happening. He said, my partner and I like to hike at a local park late at night. It's a historic park in Pennsylvania, about 3,500 acres in size that spans over into Maryland and Delaware borders. One of the trails allows you to cross through all 3 states. The entire park is mostly dense woods with a creek running through. Usually we park near an old church with a Revolutionary War cemetery that is famous for the grave known as the Ticking Tomb. I've been to every corner of this park, day or night. We usually hike a short loop that is roughly a mile in length. We've walked this trail literally thousands of times and never once felt anything strange. But tonight was different. We made a spontaneous decision to go out on a night hike and left the house at about 10:45. I decided to take a narrow dirt road to our usual parking spot rather than driving a mile up the road to a paved access road like we usually do. About halfway down the ragged dirt road and gravel road, as we rounded a corner, an animal dashed across the road in the path of our headlights. I've never seen anything like this animal, and I've never seen an animal that size in this area that I couldn't immediately identify. Its size was somewhere between a dog and a human, and it moved so quickly it almost looked like it flew. A literal black blur with some hazy details and bright silver eyes. My partner also saw it. I'm generally a skeptic, so I wrote it off, but we both just kind of explained it away. We made it to our parking spot and pretty much resolved not to talk about it and continue on as usual. Immediately when we got out onto the trail, we noticed the frogs and cicadas were extremely loud, louder than I've ever heard them at night around here. As we progressed down the trail, it felt like we had to talk over the cicadas. We sort of quietly yet frantically attempted at lightening the mood with conversation. Unbeknownst to me at the time, about 100 meters down the trail, my partner had begun to hear what he thought were extremely distant voices. I also noticed that the cicadas got progressively quieter the further we got down the trail. We made it about a quarter mile before a sudden louder sound felt like it cut through the space between my ears. It was something like a glitching microphone or megaphone way off in the distance. My partner pointed out to me later that there was nothing for the echo to bounce off of in that area. The moment we heard that sound, I stopped immediately. And asked if he heard it. Not only had he heard it, but he was convincing himself that he was hallucinating the sounds the entire time until I finally acknowledged it. Without discussion, we both immediately turned around and started walking at a fast pace back to the car. I felt like it was a bad idea to run, but we had to leave right away. We hoofed it back to the car with the feeling that something was following us all the way. When we finally got back into the car and started driving, the feeling of urgency didn't go away. We made it all the way down the main road to our first turn, and I felt a moment of complete confusion. As I slowed to the turn, my partner asked, Do you not know where you are right now? Because neither do I. We have literally driven this road thousands of times. I made a split-second decision to turn right, which thankfully was the right choice. The next road went along the perimeter of the park and parallel with the trail we were hiking. There was tons of fog, which hadn't been there on our way in. We spent maybe 20 minutes at the park. Just as we made our way past the area that we had turned around, another animal darted across the road in front of our headlights. It looked exactly like the one we saw on our way in, only closer and in more detail. It had silver eyes, what looked like ears or horns. It was insanely fast and either a blur or a wraith. I don't know how else to describe it. I get this really weird feeling when I think about it. The feeling started when I saw it run across the road the second time. I feel like it's because I acknowledged that whatever the thing was, I couldn't explain it. I feel an almost burning sensation in my sinuses, my eyes water, and I get a strange tingling at the back of my skull. Like I said before, I'm usually a skeptic when it comes to this kind of stuff, but this experience has me rattled.
Wow.
Yeah. Lot to unpack there. First off, the thing that stuck out to me was the almost missing 411 with the fog.
Yeah.
And the noise.
Yep.
And the disorientation. Because, like they said, they felt like they were lost in somewhere they've been before.
And all of the people that are talked about in missing 411s are like, they're experienced hikers.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So it makes no sense.
No, and I mean, what that animal was, I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
Could have been a shapeshifter. I mean, yeah, people you hear that experience some sort of UFO or some sort of glitch or some sort of I guess like the fabric of the universe or whatever you want to call it. They hear some sort of metallic like breaking, and they mention the microphone as well, so there's that, like the glitching microphone.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild
so
one.
freaky.
Pretty wild one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other thing there is like with the animal, it's almost like the animal was like scouting them.
Right.
It's like it's again the missing 411. It's like almost like they were being hunted. Like the animal is no longer the hunted. It's like the animal was doing it. Yeah, very. It gives me the creeps.
Yeah, same. This is literally one of the 10,000 reasons I don't go outside. But no.
Yeah.
It really is like roles are reversed though.
Yeah, it is, and that's very concerning.
Yeah.
Okay, this is another what?
Do you have any other shape-shifting ones?
Sort of. This is another bit of a longer one, but I'm gonna try to condense it because the first part is like a background. So the background is that this family they were renting a vacation home in Lincoln City, Oregon. It says to accommodate mine and my sister's family who was flying in from Hawaii for Thanksgiving holiday. And then this woman's 1-year-old grandson had gotten into her case of blood pressure meds and had taken a pill. And so there's this frantic moment where they called 911. They sent an ambulance to take the grandson to the hospital. The staff there did what they could, but they said that they were not equipped for the situation, so my grandson needed to be transported to a larger hospital in Portland. So on Thanksgiving Eve, a pediatric ambulance was sent from Randall's to Lincoln City, about a 2.5 3-hour drive. It arrived around midnight to pick up the grandson. My son's wife rode in the ambulance with my grandson back to Randall. Me and my son went back to the beach house to get diapers and clothes and started to drive to Randall about 12:30. So I guess they're like right behind the ambulance. Not right behind, but they're behind the ambulance. So they were driving. They'd been on the road for about an hour, and had passed the Spirit Mountain Casino on Highway 18. And were in the area that was all hay farmland between Bellevue and McMinnville. The road had 2 lanes only and is definitely a long deserted road, especially at that hour of the night. The ride had been very emotional as I felt extremely guilty for having packed my meds in a side pocket of a tote bag where my grandson had access to it. I was terrified for him and crying. My son was also upset, although he was trying to hide it. As they were driving, I noticed my son slightly drifting in the road. He was sort of falling asleep. Twice I asked him if he was okay to drive and to be careful, so being concerned, she was basically like paying attention to him, making sure he didn't fall asleep. As we were driving down the road, going about 55, in the distance we both saw what we thought was a deer running in our lane on the road, coming straight at us. But within a couple seconds we realized it was not a deer, but a golden horse. It must have been 250 to 300 feet away at this point. It got closer fast. As, like I said, we were traveling about 55. As it got about 100 feet away, it leaped upwards and morphed into a giant owl right before our eyes. The wingspan stretched past our lane in the road. Me and my son estimate to be between 12 and 15 foot wingspan. As soon as we saw that, my son yelled out, WTF, and swerved the car to the left to avoid it, and just as he did this, the owl immediately landed about 50 feet ahead of us on our right. In that little area outside the white line, like the bike path area, the owl tucked its head and wings into its chest as it were scared or trying to hide. As we drove past it, I got a good look at it out of my window, and with its head and wings tucked in, it still came to about the bottom of the window of the Subaru. It seemed a little wider than the width of a beach ball. So she says about 3.5 feet tall to 2 feet all the way around the body. This thing was mind-blowingly big. Now, as it happened, it was almost as if a trance came over us. It affected us both the same way. Yeah. That's so they saw some sort of apparition. I don't know. Obviously there was a lot of energy, but it doesn't sound like the thing was it sounds like it was illuminated.
Right.
Doesn't sound like it was like you have to, when it's super dark out, like you have to like force your eyes to pick something up. Sounds like it was like bright. I don't know, maybe it was some sort of spirit keeping them awake.
Yeah.
Yeah, making sure they got to where they needed to be.
I like that.
Yeah. I hope that's what it was.
Me too.
Yeah.
Oh, the owls are so fucking creepy, though.
Dude, owls, yes. Owls are a very strange... Have you ever seen them turn their head all the way around?
I literally don't think I ever have.
So creepy. It's so creepy, yeah.
Like, how can it do that?
I mean, they're predators. They're night hunters, so...
Yeah.
Like, I get it as far as the predatory ability, but it's creepy.
Yeah.
It's so creepy. Yeah. I remember when I was in college, we did service hours at this nature sanctuary, and they had owls like on premises that they had rescued. Mm-hmm. These things would just sit in the back of their cages and just stare at you, and just make these weird noises. They're not even cute. They're just so strange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
so
it's daytime. Like, why are you here?
Yeah, and it was in the maybe it was because it was daytime, and I'm pretty sure they're nocturnal, but
I
yeah,
think so.
Yeah, it was strange animals. Yeah, those are the two I got. So, pretty good.
Yeah, those were great.
Yeah, pretty good ones.
Well, I got, I think, just one more. Let's see. Okay, well, there we go. Okay. right, so this person said, I was sitting in a restaurant waiting for my takeout food to be ready. And I was staring at a young girl across the restaurant in a booth with another young man. I was just staring at her poofy, straight blonde hair for something to look at while I waited. It was straight blonde hair about 4 to 5 inches past her shoulders. She finally looked over at me, and then I looked away. When I looked back, there was an older lady sitting there.
Oh.
She had short, curly blonde hair, a few inches above her shoulders. I tried to look around the restaurant for the girl I was looking at before, and she was nowhere. So she didn't have someone just replace her seat while I looked away. When I looked back, the younger girl with the poofy blonde hair was back. The older lady was nowhere to be found. They ended up finishing their food before I got my takeout, and I just watched them walk out the door. They seemed to be in a hurry. The next part's sort of irrelevant, but I saw the two again at another restaurant a few months later. I noticed they were just wolfing down their food, like they were barely even chewing it, and they were just wolfing it down. I figured they must be aliens or something.
What?
And to say I never saw them again, although I don't eat out at restaurants very often. That's just my story. Not sure what to think of it.
Wait, so were they together in the first sighting?
Yeah, so it was like a girl and a guy. Like, it probably just looked like a boyfriend and girlfriend, but the woman just kept changing back and forth
Wow.
between an old and a young person. And then she said when she saw them again, they were just like very weird.
See, that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, if you were an alien or like a reptilian just chilling in our
World.
existence, like, you know, it's like you're playing a video game. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, like they're probably just like, let me just change really quick, like just to fuck with someone.
Yeah, exactly. It's like if you believe that woman on the airplane, you know, it's like the dude next to her was just messing around. Yeah, just like blinking, just changing his eyes because he can.
Yeah, I mean, I would do that too. I think like
I would have a sense of humor with it, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, like if you don't have to, don't have to chew your food, you know. Like,
yeah, I mean, sometimes I don't even chew my food because I get so hungry.
I know. Like, that's just, they're just in there just like sucking it down, like not even chewing.
They're just going, they're just going for it, yeah. Man.
Yeah, that's funny.
That is. Well, I think you beat me on the stories. I think yours were much better this time.
Well, I mean, mine were all about shapeshifters.
Yeah, yours were more, I think yours were more entertaining. Mine were as far as stories go, I think mine were good, but yours were entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, thank you. I think yours were, they were a little more like, well, the first one is like definitely missing 411 vibes, but the other one was just like, I think, definitely like,
some sort of guardian, I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, it changed into another animal, like the one I read about.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but the animal that changed into, they weren't like, you know, when you think of horses and owls, you think of like guardian.
You do.
Maybe that's just a modern, you know. I know owls are also associated with UFO abductions, but that doesn't quite fit the scenario. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
But nonetheless.
They're great.
Nonetheless, good stories.
Yeah.
Well, cool. We're at our usual time, around 45. So, good stuff. It's still weird doing it over video, but I'm sure we'll get used to it.
I know. I don't like it.
Yeah, I know. It's so different.
Yeah.
It's like when you talk it's like, well, it's just, you know, videos, they don't have the interaction. It's just weird not being. Also, I think I I was listening to one of our favorite comedians, Uncle Laser, and he had a he had a guest on, and this guy was like, he's an actor, and he was like, yeah, I was having this conversation about some budgeting stuff the other day with one of my managers, and the guy set up a Zoom call, and I was like, dude, like, I don't need to see you every time we talk.
Right.
I think Zoom has taken, or whatever, Google Meets, whatever platform you want to use, it's taken precedence over just like calling someone.
Yeah, I agree, and that's normally how it goes for me as well. But like yesterday, I was on the normal like phone calls.
Yeah.
For, like literally all afternoon, and it was weird.
Yeah.
Because normally I'm like looking at someone through a screen, but this just happened like people were on the move, so it was just on the phone. But
For sure.
it definitely has taken over.
Yeah, it has. It's I agreed with him, honestly. I was like, yeah, I don't need to see someone every time. You know.
Yeah, not every time.
Not every time. It's good to get things done, but I like a call too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, y'all can find us at World We Live Pod on Twitter. You can catch us on Facebook, World We Live in Podcast, YouTube, World We Live in Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify. And yeah, give us a little rate and review if you like the show. Much appreciated. And Aaron, you got anything?
No. Thanks for listening as always.
Yes.
We're recording this on Friday, so
Yeah, should be out. Well, doesn't matter. Should be out this weekend though.
yeah. But whenever you're listening, have a great rest of your week.
Yes, be safe out there. And we'll catch you next time.